Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Mexican Grand Prix. And I'm delighted to see a bit of drizzle. Well, not a bit of drizzle, it's a monsoon, it's a flood. What do you make of this, man?
I like watching cars drive in the rain. I think we're going to see some spins, some bottle jobs, and I'm here for that, not going to lie. How are you doing, Richie?
Fantastic, and all the better. My mood is definitely perked up. A bit of rain is definitely the seasoning for F1 to really bring the juices to the foil, and we've got full wets, so it's proper rain.
It's going to be really tricky for the drivers in that S section. It's hard enough to keep the rear end checking the dry when it starts raining. Oh boy, we're going to see some Tokyo drift.
Yeah, it's just going to be about minimizing any loss of locking up your wheel, get spinning up. Just being a smooth operator in the rain is very key in these F1 cars. Very easy to get them sideways, under brakes, under traction. Like you say, definitely for them high speed, the middle sector, that's going to be the real task, and staying off them curbs as well. Don't want to take the conventional line. I'm going to take the, as they call it, the karting line in certain areas, trying to get the car pointed in a straight line as soon as possible. And here we go. We're going to go for our first tour of the Mexican Grand Prix here on board with Celtic Speed, one of the main guys in the Republic of Motorsports League, and one of the founders, I do believe. Rockets down in his no longer Rocket Williams, but his Williams racing car. Nice and uneventful. That's what we want to see so far. Commentator's curse is only around the corner. Matt knows too well about that.
Wow, plenty of curses yesterday, and I am prepared to do it again.
That's what we're employed for. Bring the drama, bring the spice.
Absolutely. First car to come into this tricky last section, and we'll see if Celtic can keep it pointing in the right direction. He'll be so gentle on that throttle. Quite high revs as well, that can't be doing the rear end any good, but he gets it out of that S section, pointing in the right way. That's what we like to see. He's looking like he's going to set the first lap of the day.
Going into this unique part of the circuit, into the baseball section, and one of the best podiums, if not the best, up there with Monza, you would say, around this tricky final corner. I'm going to get on the power a bit early, but a bit too early, it's going to cost you all the way down the straight and up to the line. 27.9.
Next car up to the line is going to be the racing point of that goes second fastest on 129.3. The cars are obviously going to be really trying to find where the grip is in these early stages. You don't want to push too hard early on if Weston sets his time and Yanni Jans follows suit.
Becomes really one of the title protagonists. He's going to want a good qualifying position, only good enough for second overall. We'd love to see it. And what Stubbsy's saying? Normally the bench setup. Twitching.
Drifting.
Drifting his way to pole, provisional pole.
It doesn't even got someone off, have we? Celtic Speed is spun in the middle sector, in that S section. Just drops the back end, keeps out of the barriers though, so he'll be able to continue really trying to find the limits in the early stages of the session.
So what do you tend to do in wet qualifying? What's your sort of strategy? Because I know it's very different to dry qualifying. Right?
I would always put more fuel in the car than just one run. Normally 2 or 3 laps, especially on this first early stage, and just do laps. Just try and find the grip, find your time, and then maybe late session you drop the fuel down a little bit and go for a final push. You've really got to learn the circuit early on. Plenty of track time is required.
So only 3 cars yet to set a lap time. Which is pretty good considering 12 minutes remaining. Lawn coming around the final corner. To kick off a lap, just to invalidate it. This is one of the killer tracks, I would say, in terms of invalidations. Very easy to run across one of the curbs, especially through sector 2. But the weather conditions will, I'd say, aid the drivers in that, a bit more cautious, less corner speed required. More caution is the forefront of every driver's attention right now.
Aki across the line for his first lap goes P11 on a 1 minute 30.7. Still, that last corner, it's looking like it's a big challenge for the drivers. They're all getting a rear end out.
Yeah, you want a short shift around there, really, didn't you? They're trying to go ham up to the line.
You normally want to take, because the finish line is so close, you want to take as tight a line as possible to get that shortest run to the end of your lap. But in these wet conditions, you're going to have to kind of run a little bit wider just to keep speed up. A real balancing act for the drivers.
A bit crackly audio. I'm just going to try to switch over controllers. Try and reset the audio. My side.
Dawning. And Rooney goes fastest on a 27.5. A few more cars backing off their times, pulling into pit, and getting fresh tyres on, more fuel and going again. And that should mean we're now expecting those times to start dropping quite significantly. Whole time currently at 27.5. Weston's has gone round in the middle sector. Taking its second victim of the day. It's Weston's this time. We're after tackling. Another key adaptation to wet weather racing is how much you use that battery. Normally a quali run, you just leave it in hot lap the entire time and you get that maximum deployment. In the rain, you might want to switch it down to none coming out of some corners just to help you with that traction, keeping the rear end in check, because more often than not, a stable car in the rain is a fast car. Stubbsy the 10th up at the end of the first sector. He's pushing, currently P2, half a tenth away from the pole time and sliding his way around this tricky little section. Very tight, very technical before getting that throttle down. Turning the ERS back on and going into the S's. He's got the rear end going, sliding. He saves the spin, but he's bottled the lap. Stubbsy will have to go again. It was looking like a pretty good lap till that point, but just couldn't keep the rear end in check. Aki's coming around to complete his lap for McLaren, currently P13 on the grid. Looking to improve that. He's quite a way off the guys ahead. 1.1 seconds was the gap. We'll see what it is when he comes out of this final corner, across the line, and goes up to P9 on a 28.9. Decent time there for the McLaren driver. Rooney's on a push. He's matched his time in sector 1. We'll see what it is. Coming through the middle sector, using a lot of curve there. That looks dangerous. Keeps the rear end in check though. Come through to the end of the S's now. Throttle now pinned. Pushes his way towards the stadium section. And he's 2/10 up on his personal best. Through the hairpin, very easy to lose it back, and he's in 4th gear already, look, just to try and keep that traction. He knows exactly what he needs to do. Comes out of the final corner, short shifting once again. Takes a tight-ish run up to the line to improve his lap by 3/10. It's a 1 minute 27.1 for Rooney, the current pole time. We'll see what Stubbsy can do in response.
Down through sector 2, and we had a little wobble. But the game says purple sector time on the track map, and he's invalidated, so will not improve. Top 3 under half a second. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the session. So probably time for one more stint. Do we think we'll get inters? How's the track looking, Matt?
Well, we've seen Rooney put in a very good lap of recent. Might suggest that the track is improving, but if we look at the rain, you could probably get a boat out on track right now, so I should think we'll be sticking to the wet tyres.
Well, Shaney's on the inters, so let's keep a close eye on him. See if he's able to get the hammer down. Or if it's going to be Spinala sessions. We've got a bit of a cleared line, I wouldn't say a dry line, but it's all over the place.
We've got a few of them going for inters, haven't we?
Yeah, they're probably just checking the delta difference. Jeff!
Don't trust Jeff, he'll put you on the wrong strategy. Always does.
Celtic as well coming out on the intermediate tyres, so the Williams garage are feeling confident that track conditions will improve right up to the last minute, and this is the real key battleground when it comes to a wet qualifying session, is being on the track on the right tyre at the right time and just banging that lap time in when the track is peaking at its best, because it's not like a dry qualifying session where you know it's going to be, you know, maybe a tenth quicker at the end of the session. You know, when it's wet, you can gain a lot of time by being on the track in the right tyre at the right time.
If the track is drying out then, do you think we're going to see, at the end of this session, everyone backing up at that final corner trying to be the last one to start their lap?
It's a risk in itself, but you never know. Could be the way from it.
Obviously he's gone out on wets again. He obviously feels the track is not dry enough.
So Westons has confirmed that it is a dry race, so the guys will be running dry setups, and that will be hampering them as well.
What do you change on your setup then when you change from a dry to a wet? What would be different?
Definitely the rear wing goes up quite a lot. Try to keep it very planted on the rear end. That's my main battleground. The front wing maybe a click or two. The ride height will definitely go up, and I normally like to soften the suspension, make it a bit less aggressive on the corners, because we won't be carrying as much corner speed. What about yourself?
I don't do a lot in terms. I always up the rear wing a couple of clicks because I want to keep that rear stability. But other than that, I tend to stick to a very dry setup, which works in races where we do a wet to dry / dry to wet. In races where it's just wet the whole time, I do tend to struggle. And it's something I need to work on in the future.
You run no traction as well, don't you?
Yeah, no traction.
Yeah, like me, it's very difficult in the wet. Certain tracks, it does benefit you quite a lot. You can feel the grip, get that bit much more detail out the circuit. But compared to like guys on medium traction, it's an arduous task.
Yeah, but I think once you move on to, once you take an assist off, putting it back on is just weird. I did it for fun once. I thought, oh, I'll just try driving all assists on again. So it's like, it was horrible. Don't do it. Once you turn them off, just leave them off.
Celtic's been struggling to beat his fastest lap time so far. Just under over 1.5 minutes remaining of this session. Rooney's on an out lap as well as Stubbsy. Everyone looking for that intermediate tyre apart from Tommy Real. Yanni Jans coming out on the wets, Aki and front half.
The driver's not improving as of yet though. Most of the fastest times are still on wet compound.
We've got a similar situation to the Turkish Grand Prix this year, where Max was absolutely flying on the wet tyre, slapped on the intermediate and was absolutely nowhere. So certain drivers, it's all about the comfort zone right now.
Absolutely, we've got Racing Point coming up to line. We'll see if he can improve. Was P7, doesn't improve. A 10th off his personal best, gets to go one more time. This will be his final lap. He's starting now. That's another driver not improving on intermediates.
Rooney was up through Sector 1. Sector 2 will be a key battleground. The tight and twisty section, so we'll be really testing the Inters to the edge of their capabilities. And as he comes through this sector time, he is up. He's up. He's invalidated.
Well, we're watching somebody who invalidated Richie.
Yes.
What a surprise.
It wasn't.
That's what they all say. James has managed to improve his time on intermediates. He's up in P5. And that does suggest the track is moving more towards the intermediate tyres, and we can expect those times to start dropping now.
Check his flag out. It's time to get the swapper on there. Just to hold it. It's going to cost him all the way down this straight now.
The 10th up in that first sector. First sector's really, you've got 3 corners, the rest of it is just straight, so don't expect massive gains there. It's in this middle and final sector where we're really going to see the difference made by being on a different compound tyre. Really being held up.
All set on the wets.
Look where Rooney is, he's right up behind a Williams. I don't think he's going to be able to improve being that close to another car.
They've had the message. He's peeled off.
See when he comes to the second split whether he's improving or if he's lost too much time. He's 3/10 down. That leaves the door open for Stubbsy. Then he gets a right swapper on coming out of the stadium section. Five corner for the Racing Point then. Can he take pole position? He's drifting all the way through.
Oh!
He's held on to pole.
Smashed
26.4. Can really respond in that final sector. He had one sector to make up all that time. We'll see what he can do. It's only P2, improved his time by 0.06 of a second. Stubbsy takes pole at the last. Fair play, Stubbsy.
Absolutely battered that lap time. Top 2 drivers set their best time on the intermediate. Celtic Speed has taken 3rd on a wet tyre. Lawn improved on the Inters. Front half set his on the wets. You can see on the screen here. So we'll have a short break and we're going to get into the race, boys. So go grab yourself a cuppa, a brew, whatever tickles your fancy. It's about to happen now. Whilst we're waiting, let's get a quick recap of the championship order. So looking to the Constructors' Championship, it's Mercedes that lead the way on 581 points, absolutely bossing it, to a Racing Point on 417. Then it's Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Renault, Alfa Romeo, Haas, Alfa Tauri and the Williams. And qualifying today on the front row, we've got Stubbsy and Rooney. Row 2 is Celtic Speed and Lawn. Row 3 is Fronhalf and James. Row 4 is Ludlow and Drazzy. And on the 5th row, we've got Aki and Givads. And we've got Westerns, Yanni Jans, Tommy Real, Shaney and the Racing Carl. As we've had a wet qualifying, of course, everyone will get a free tyre choice for the start of the Grand Prix, which will make things a bit more interesting in actual fact. What do you think about that? What would the strategy, any Tips around here, Matt?
Quite a harsh one on tyres, Mexico, isn't it? I think we're going to see plenty of drivers going for the mediums, trying to make a one-stop work.
Yeah, it's definitely aided that cause. Starting on a free tyre choice. Because if it would have been dry, everyone, of course, would have opted for the softs. So in the Drivers' Championship, we have Stubbsy leading the way on 383 points. Then a further 9 points behind him is Rooney. These guys have been going at it all year, and the FIA have got involved on several occasions to intervene and be the mediator. And this one's going to go down to the wire. Only 9 points separating them. Stubbsy has been dominating with 12 wins, 15 poles, and 9 fastest laps. But you can just see Rooney's consistency has kept him in the battle all the way up until the Mexican Grand Prix. Of course, after this, we head to Brazil and then Abu Dhabi. In third in the championship, we've got Lorne on 207 points, and then we've got a gap to James, who's on 171. And then we've got Celtic Speed, Drazi, K-Mag, Westerns, Ludlow, Yanni Jans, Aki, Dunsworth, Vettel, Fronhalf, Dacey, Dyslexic, Givads, Stato, Pullen, Tommy Real, and the rest don't deserve a mention because they really haven't turned up. So, yeah, that's your run through.
Who we put in as favourite for the win then?
I'm going to go with Celtic Speed. Front two are going to wipe each other out. Commentator's curse. Let's go.
Yeah. Fair enough. Going for that bold selection. I like to see it. It's a long run down towards that first corner. Definitely anything can happen.
Who's your pick for the win today, Matt?
I am going with Rooney. I think Rooney's going to do it today.
Lovely. The only other driver, there's two other drivers that have scored a win this season. We've got Drazi and we have Lorne, it seems.
See if they can cause another upset here today. I would like to see an underdog story, to be fair. Whenever I commentate here, it's always Stubbsy, I think, whenever I've commentated. I don't think I've actually seen Rooney win yet.
He's had a few on track, a few off track victories. Yeah, it's been a stressful battle between the pair of them. I think they'll be glad to get this season wrapped up and to claim the victory. As we can see, a stark contrast from qualifying with a beautiful day here at the Autodromo Rodriguez here in Mexico. And a good one for racing. Very good track. Heading down that massive long straight into the heavy braking zone. Good opportunity for overtaking. Got that quick left-right turn into another DRS. And then into that tricky sector 2 where it is a bit more difficult to overtake. But then we've got that extra DRS now heading in towards sector 3. And then, of course, through the stadium, single file, and then onto that slingshot back down the main straight. Strategy is going to play a key part here as well in terms of who's going to win the race. And like Matt said, expect them to maybe look for mediums to hards. Hards will be difficult to manage around here though as well, Matt.
Yeah, you don't want to compound with low grip around here, especially in that middle sector again, because it's just painful to drive through it. Especially if you've got a car which is a bit more oversteery than understeery, you could expect to lose the back end a few times through there.
Yeah, as always as well, this race will be won and lost on penalties. and there's going to be a race of two different races in a single race. You're basically going to have the guys that are going to be trying to tiptoe around and not end up in the stewards room at the end of the day with track limits, and then you're going to have the guys which are just going to be sending it left, right and centre, using as much curb as possible and throwing caution to the wind, picking up penalties left, right and centre. So if you're still looking for a last minute stocking filler, I do recommend you get over to the Teespring Calendar Season Racing store, where you can grab yourself a Mr. Connor Beer Bottlet t-shirt, exclusive, and won't be around forever. So make sure you grab a piece of that merch history from Mr. Connor Beer.
It's the best t-shirt you'll ever get. People be wearing their fancy t-shirts. I'm like, no. You get one that says Bottle It on it. That's superior to anything you've ever seen before.
And if you wear that t-shirt, you automatically become immune from bottling it. Just saying. So it's worth wearing.
Looks like we're getting ready to go then. We will be able to see what tyres they've all gone for. We can stop speculating. And am I seeing some soft tyres? I am.
Yeah.
Oh, split strategy at the front. I like that.
A large portion of the grid going for that soft tyre. So not confident that one stop will work by the look of it, Matt. So your front row, Stubbsy, leading the title charge by 9 points. He's going to have Rooney all over the back of him on that soft compound tyre. Then on row 2, Celtic Speed and Lawn both opting for the softs. Front half and James make up row 3, again both on the softs, as well as Ludlow and Drazzy on row 4. As you can see, the pit stop predicted strategy here is a 2-stop, pitting around lap 11 to 14, slapping on another set of softs, and maybe going medium or towards the hards, depending on when you do that second pit stop. Of course, safety cars will play its part and will be a key deciding factor. So no one opting for the hard tyre. Might be an indication that it won't be used here today. Not the best race tyre.
I think Stubbsy is not going to lead this one into turn 1. He's going to struggle to get traction on those medium tyres off the start. It's then 890 metres from that pole stop down towards the first corner, where Rooney will use that slipstream. He'll give it everything he's got, and hopefully for him, he'll be in the lead by the time they get down to turn 1.
There'll be absolute scenes here for the Mexican Grand Prix next season when Checo Perez lines up in the Red Bull, hopefully on the front row of the grid, and maybe pushes himself towards a win here at his home Grand Prix. But here today, it's the Republic of Motorsport here for the Mexican Grand Prix. We've got a title to decide, and we've got these two bad boys on the front row. It's Stubbsy versus Rooney. We've got the pink, the 2019 Mercedes of Stubbsy versus the 2020 edition of Rooney. Place your bets now. It's about to go down. We're going to hand over to Matthew Collier for the start of the Mexican Grand Prix.
Everybody's already got into their grid stops then. They're all eager and ready to go, and the lights begin to come on ahead of the drivers. 890 metres down towards turn 1. It is lights out, and we are racing at the Mexican Grand Prix, and Rooney has got a storming start. Stubbsy, like I said, struggling with that traction off the line, and they are going to go side by side, the championship rivals, down towards the first corner. Rooney will have the inside. They make contact on the way through. Who will be late on the brakes? It's Stubbsy who's going to squeeze round the outside. Is he going to hold on? No, because Rooney fights back. There's more contact. Goes to Evo. There's an Alfa Romeo of John Hart getting up there. Is he going to move past Stubbsy into the lead as Rooney draws back down the order? He has. Front half leads ahead of Stubbsy. Then is Rooney, who looks to send one to the inside, locks up the inside front to avoid any kind of contact. Thron leads from Stubbsy. Then it is Rooney, and behind them we've got Drazzy and Ludlow side by side. Good start from the other Alfa Romeo, who puts himself up into P4.
Wow, what a start to the Grand Prix. That was an absolute early Christmas present down into turn 1. Neither driver willing to give an inch of space, and we've all got a penalty there. What's happened? He's out. putting some all safety car
deployed.
Wow, wow,
Oh.
wow.
I just saw some lagging going on, and then a Williams kind of slid off into the runoff, and that is Celtic Speed out of the race. Was he your pick for the win by any chance?
No. I'm sorry. No, it's me. Of course surrendered the lead.
No, okay.
Oh no,
It's not. It's the timing towers. I had a moment as well. Don't worry. I was like, why is he going backwards? It's okay. It's just the timing tower.
So on lap 1 we had a ding-dong battle between the two title protagonists of Rooney and Stubbsy down into turn 1. No one giving up the space, and front half just, thank you very much boys, I'll take the lead if you're going to squabble about it. Thank you very much. And this is definitely going to mix up the order right now. We'd love to see it.
Absolutely. Do got a few guys in the pits. I'm guessing that's to change their front wings. After some damage on turn 1, they've both gone for the medium tyres. It's both McLarens as well. I don't know if they've hit each other or other people, but not a good start for the McLaren boys.
Yeah, so don't adjust your sets. We are on lap 2. As always, the timings are not peaking until we cross and start lap 3, and it will sort itself back out. Here is your race leader. We've got front half followed by Stubbsy and then Rooney. These are your top 3 from the start of the Grand Prix. Of course, a mix of strategies. Stubbsy started on their medium tyres, and it was very crucial that he kept Rooney behind early doors there, otherwise Rooney could just start to stretch his legs. Maybe this will help the softer runners extend that first stint. Safety car will be out for another lap. Going to be waiting for the safety car to turn its lights out. That will indicate that it's going to peel off into the pit lane on the next available entrance.
Hey, one thing to watch out for on the restart. That final corner, when you've got hot tyres, it's so easy to light the rear tyres up and have a spin. I've seen many drivers do it. I've done it myself. I wouldn't be surprised if we see someone take a trip to the barriers.
Yeah, it's a long way back to the pits from there. You've just gone past it.
I did it in a couple of seasons back in CSR when we had Grid 2, because we just had a load of new people join. I don't remember if I was leading or what, but I was on for a good result, and then I just decided on the safety car restart I would just hit the throttle a wee bit too hard and made a trip to the barriers. And that's on being Lord Bottle dropped first.
Got to live up to your reputation.
Oh, absolutely. Carl's picked up 5 seconds for hitting Shane. And boys, keep it neat and tidy behind the safety car. Leave each other some space. That's another lesson.
Here we go.
Another lesson I've learned in league racing. Safety car in this lap.
Front half will need to back up the pack now. Get a bit of extra room so he can bolt. This will be good. The car behind is on a step harder compound. Hopefully he will get the traction out the final corner. Safety car yet to enter the pits. Stubbsy eager to get on with it.
I have to go soon. The line is getting close.
There he goes.
He left it late, but he has gone. Hits the overtake button. We'll have to try and break the slipstream because Stubbsy's also nailed that restart. He's looking like he wants to take the lead back as soon as possible. 2.5 comes the inside completely. Stubbsy then moves to the outside. Will he go late on the brakes to try and retake that lead? Yes, he will. It's Stubbsy down the outside into turn 1. Has he got it done? Yes, he has. Stubbsy leads.
Look at Rooney
coming down the outside as well. Rooney, what a move. But Rooney now can be set up for Stubbsy to take the lead. They run down towards turn 3 now.
Did he
Rooney
cut the
in
corner
the
there?
slipstream.
He took a very nice slide.
Oh, Stubbsy's gone in a bit deep. That's going to allow Rooney to get the switch back. No, Stubbsy just holds on. Front half, though. Not the restart he wanted after taking the lead on the opening lap. He's down to P3 on the restart.
Tommy Real Lawn going at it, and it's going to allow James in on the action as well.
Rooney knows what he needs to do. He's on that soft tyre. He needs to use that grip to get into the lead and start building an advantage over his championship rival. He'll be looking to do that as soon as possible. He's not letting Stubbsy get away.
It's hot on the heels. If you're Stubbsy, you don't want to fight him too hard. You're leading the championship at this point. Hang on to the back of him. Of course, Rooney will have the advantage on that softer tyre. He's doing a pretty good job with ERS management.
Got James looking like he wants to get a move done on Lawn as well. Gets a nice exit off turn 3. No DRS for this lap, but James doesn't care. He's still gaining Lawn. He looks to the inside, chooses not to go for that move, but the Mercedes goes in deep. That allows James to have a look on the outside, tries to get the switch back, but the Mercedes of Lawn just parks it on the apex and keeps his position for the time being. As Rooney looks to the outside, into the S's, Stubbsy shows him the door as he is right to do. Stubbsy holds on. Rooney got a good run going into the S's there.
Yeah, tricky place to overtake. Can end in tears for both drivers there, and front half. He's rubbing his hands together saying, come on boys, take each other out like I said earlier. And this will be my dub for the taking. Both Alphas looking good in 3rd and 4th so far.
Oh, Rooney's picked up 3 seconds.
Naughty boy.
One half just nearly dropped the back end there and I got scared for a moment. Is Rooney going to send it then? He's in the slipstream, he's gaining, looks to the inside, chooses not to make the move. Playing it safe in the early stages because you don't want to race in these opening laps.
Good exit there for Stubbsy. Momentum's going to come a bit too late for the Mercedes driver.
Got Drazzy going for the move on Ludlow. Down the outside. Nice move for the Ferrari driver. Looks to get it complete. No, because Ludlow's hanging on in there. Ludlow round the outside, defends his position, and he maintains P4 from the Alfa Romeo.
Both Ferrari drivers looking very eager to get on with business right now. It's Drazzy and Tommy looking super fast. We got a car off, Matt. Looks like racing Carl.
K-Mag is out of the race. Not sure what's happened.
We've got some damage for the Renault car, it seems. Maybe involved in that incident.
Yeah, probably.
Here we go. Start of lap 7. The battle for the lead is still on. Rooney is all over the back of Stubbsy. Surely it's going to happen this lap. He's a lot closer than he's ever been. He's going to get squeezed to the inside. There's contact as we head down into turn 1. Nothing doing though. And Stubbsy looking to go back around the outside, make his competitive thing twice. We've got a battle in the background as well. It's Drazzy, Ludlow, and the Ferrari gets ahead of the Alfa Romeo.
Rooney did well there. He was forced all the way to the inside, but he held his nerve and got the move done on Stubbsy. He now needs to pull away, use those soft tyres as long as they last. Build that advantage. We've got racing here between the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo again. Ludlow ahead of Tommy Real, just about. Good racing between the two Italian teams.
Yeah, the Ferrari's looking quick at this point, and this is crucial for the race win because Stubbsy now picks up a 3-second time penalty of his own.
Rooney will be counting his blessings then as they now want on penalties. No advantage for Stubbsy. It's all down to track position once again.
The gaps are starting to eke out ever so slightly. Lawn is closing in on the battle of the Ferraris, and the Alphas up ahead of him. And the fastest lap is 17.8, some 10 seconds quicker than we was in qualifying due to the wet weather conditions. And who's going to blink first? If you're going for the 2-stop, you're going to want to pit early, don't you think, Matt? In the undercut.
Yeah, someone in this train of cars is definitely going to pull the trigger. Maybe one of the Ferraris. They're looking quite racy at the moment. They want to get a move on. I could probably see one of them going for the undercut.
It's a nice battle for the last podium spot. We've got front half Drazzy, Ludlow, Tommy, Lorne, James and Westerns all in a DRS train.
Tell you what, Stubbsy is just keeping in that DRS window at the moment. Doing exactly what he needs to do for his race. Just keeping Rooney nice and close. Keeping it single file going into the first corner this time around. No one going through any kind of big set apart from Yanni, who is gaining on Aki all the time. Goes to the inside, and that's the Haas up into P11. Aki tries to defend on the brakes but can't do anything. The Haas makes up the place.
Initially we expected the drivers to pit around lap 11 to 14. I think we can go to the latter of that now due to the safety car.
Rooney just picked up another 3 seconds.
His heart sinks once again.
Brazzy looks like he wants to get a move done here, not going to lie, for that final podium place. He's closed that gap right up to 2/10. And we're getting ready to go into the DRS straight, or have the DRS advantage over the Alfa Romeo head. And I think we might be about to see a move done by Drazzy. He's got plenty of battery as well. He's really managed that DRS open, overtake, engage for a second, then backs out of it. Might have to re-engage that to get the move done, or will he? He's gaining slipstream down the outside. Who's going to brake late? It's the Alfa Romeo. The sweet big line though for Drazzy allows him to move clear and up into the podium place. Ludlow and Tommy racing in the background as well there. Ludlow maintains position and that allows Lorne to get a go. Lorne looking to the outside of the road. Can he have a go? Into turn 4. Has a little look. Sends one down the outside. Turns to the inside for turn 5. It's such a tight corner that he has to back out. Tommy Real maintains P6. Drazzy's up in 3rd.
The Alfa's fighting back once again. This might cost him because Ludlow is out of DRS range now and he's going to come under attack from Tommy on the next available lap. Just broken up that DRS train for the last podium spot of it. And Stubbsy is closed right in now. Are them softs starting to go off?
Yeah, they don't last too long on this circuit. The mediums are a very good race tyre. And Rooney pulls into the pits.
Advantage Stubbsy right now. He's in the prime position on the prime tyre. And here we go. Rooney in the pits. He's going to be followed by anyone else. Drazzy takes up P2.
Got front half in the pits as well from that midfield battle.
Down into turn 1. Here comes Tommy. Down the inside. Nice move. Lorne is lurking. Wait for any kind of slip up. Move back on track. Out in P10. Gone for a fresh set of mediums. Definitely won't last till the end. So looking like a definite 2-stop. What do you think, Matt? Maybe a set of softs towards the end.
That's 2-stop. He'll try and put softs into the end. He'd have to get these tyres to around about lap 26-ish, which is definitely doable. So I expect soft tyres for these guys who have just pitted out at the end. How long are we expecting Stubbsy to go?
You could go to around lap 16, maybe even further, due to the safety car. It depends if he wants to 2-stop himself. He's going to box a lot earlier. If he's going to try to hang it out for a 1. We'll see.
So Drazzy stays out, but Tommy Real and Ludlow pit. We'll see where they come out in comparison to Thron Half, who pitted one lap earlier and is going for that undercut. Romeo's just swinging through that final few corners now. Tommy Real coming towards the end of pit lane. He can put his foot down. He's going to come out well ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Ludlow, on the other hand, comes out behind Thron Half, ahead of his teammate, but will be behind Tommy Real.
So Gibbets overtake Aki up into P5. Be a lot lower, of course, once all the pit stops do shake out. These guys battling on the medium compound. Aki taking a very wide line there.
Understeered off the road there, struggling for grip now, maybe on those medium tyres.
Jans has just slipped on ahead. He's opted for a soft. He's going to go soft, medium by the look of it. Ludlow opted for the medium at this stage of the race.
As he pulls into the pits for Ferrari. Real looking like he wants to get a move done on Weston instead in the AlphaTauri. Overtake is enabled. The DRS is now open. Can he get past Weston to put himself up into P9? Yes, he can. Flies past on the pit straight. Comes out behind his teammate who's just made a stop. So Drazzy will be ahead of Tommy Real.
It's like a trade motoring on past there.
It was unstoppable.
Nice pun there. So the guys without penalties so far, we have Lorne, James, Drazzy, Westerns, Thron Half and Jans. Will they be on Santa's nice list come the end of the Grand Prix? Still a long way to go, like 13 of 36 here in Mexico.
We're going to see Lorne pit this lap. He's taken those soft tyres a long way and he's going to keep going. He's trying for a one stop then.
It's another lap.
Well, I think he's going to pit for hards and try and do the one stop.
Yeah, I don't think it will really hurt his chances. Mixing it up a bit. What's a pit stop around here? Around 25 seconds, would you say?
Yeah, it's something around that.
Two Ferraris stuck to each other around this Grand Prix, and it's Tommy on the softs. Will there be any team orders from Binotto to say get out the way and allow him through?
There would be if Ferrari had strategists.
What is strategists? They don't have them in Italy.
Yeah, they don't. It's quite depressing being a Ferrari fan.
Rooney up the inside of the McLaren of Aki. Puts himself up into position 5. Really motoring on now.
Doing exactly what he needs to do to close that gap up to Stubbsy.
Talking of Stubbsy, his teammate is the next car up ahead of Rooney, so don't expect him to give any space.
And Lorne puts on a set of medium tyres. Can you get mediums to the end from here, or are we going to have to be... I think it might be a bit close, but I think you could.
Yeah, you'd hope you'd have a few safety car laps or something to eke them out, but you never know. This is closing up nicely. James, Drazzy and Tommy.
Stubbsy is on 6 seconds of penalties now, the same as Rooney, so good thing for Rooney to have his championship on the same penalties as him, but you gotta say, Rooney's still a long way off the race lead.
Let's have a look. Get to the leader. Oh, he just made up another position because Givads has jumped in the pit. So the gap is 19 seconds now. Keep an eye on that. So when it starts to come down.
Have to be doing nearly a second per lap now for the rest of the race to close down that kind of gap. We'll see whether that pace is there or not.
There you go, here's the freeway. Ferrari, Red Bull. Who's going to come out on top? Here comes Drazzy down the inside. The Red Bull brakes late. Trying to hold that inside line. It's going to have to give it up. Otherwise, he's going to get double mugged by the two Ferraris. Yeah, that's Drazzy up into position 3.
Good move from Drazzy, and it'll be now up to his teammate now to try and make that same move. It's soft tyre versus soft tyre then between Tommy and James. Of course, Tommy's tyres are much younger and he's already got the run going down into the stadium section. We haven't seen an overtake here yet today. Well, now we have, as Tommy Roll puts himself up into P4 and James has lost 2 places in the space of a lap.
What a move. Both Ferraris on a charge. The Stallions.
That's some pits.
Good.
The soft tyres, Stubbsy comes out of the pits. He's behind Rooney. That could be crucial. Stubbsy on soft tyres. Can they go to the end? Surely not.
Surely not. Nah, he'll be going softs. Yeah, pretty second hand after around 9 laps. So, yeah, expect to see Stubbsy in the pit lane again. We expect to see Rooney in the pits again. And look at this, he's still in the DRS, so Stubbsy, he'd be able to have a go at it at the end of this lap, if not the next one. On a fresher tyre, softer compound. It's a matter of when, not if, you'd say.
Yeah, it's all looking like it's going Stubbsy's way at the moment. He's got so much more grip through that S section, you can really see it. The amount of speed he carries through. DRS open, he won't go for the move here. He'll wait for that pit straight to get that long-lasting advantage of the DRS. Here they go then. Stubbsy tucks into the slipstream of Rooney. He's gaining on the Mercedes, overtaking it. Oh, Rooney moves late. That might be looked at by the stewards. Stubbsy gets the move done anyway. Had to go to the outside, but he is clear of his rival, and he is up into the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix.
That could have been
a late move there by Rooney.
Yeah, that was borderline, that move.
That is dangerous.
There you go, Givads battling the McLaren, locks up a wheel.
It might be about to see battle of the Ferraris again. Tommy Reel's in that DRS window.
You're going to have to make the move soon because then the advantage will be creeping towards that medium tyre now.
Stubbsy is now out in the lead in that clear air, sets fastest lap of the race. He's already pulled out a 2.3 second gap. He's flying out front.
He's a man on fire right now.
Here comes Tommy in the slipstream, DRS open. Hasn't got the battery though to gain enough to make the move into the first corner. Moves out of that slipstream just to spot his braking point, I should think, not thinking of sending one from that far back on your teammate for sure. We'll get that DRS again on the second straight, but I think he's going to be too far back to make any kind of overtake by the corner, and Drazzy will maintain his podium position for the time being.
Drazzy, keep motoring on, mate. You get a late safety car. This is yours, baby. Keep it clean.
And 3 drivers yet to pick up a penalty. Drazzy, of course, is the lead driver of that group, running P3. Very good drive so far for the Ferrari.
So front half, after a fantastic start to the race, he's found himself in a bit of no man's land, down in 7th now. Will we see a resurgence? What's happened to him?
It all went downhill from that restart, didn't it? He lost the lead straight away, down to 3rd, and then he's just slipping down the order. Ferrari's got past him, Weston's is now ahead, as is James. We'll see what he can do in the late stages. If he pits those soft tyres late on, he might have some very strong pace, and we hope to see that for some good racing in the closing stages.
Yeah, again, a lot of cars ahead of him are on penalties, but we're going to have to stay with them. He's starting to pull out a gap.
At Stubbsy, he's pulled out 6 seconds now. He is looking like he's going to take this win without any further difficulties.
Here we go, we've got a battle, Givat and Ludlow. Givat's in the racing point with the DRS. Pretty standard move there, up the inside, gets it stopped nicely. And that's up into a point scoring position. Givat has been in the pits twice already. So Ludlow's 1 stop so far.
When are we expecting the pit stop winner to open up again then, for those who are on the soft tyres for now?
So if they've gone soft, medium, you know, they're going to be feeling it any time now. Expect the likes of James to make his pit stop on this lap or the next. Let's see.
James on the oldest of those soft tyre runners. Hit quite early for them. He'll have to go medium, and he is in this lap for, we presume, medium tyres that will take him to the end of the race.
So we've got a nice 4-car battle brewing. We've got Weston's leading the charge from front half lawn. Who's that in the background?
Front half's picked up his first penalty of the afternoon. Does leave us with only 2 drivers yet to pick up a penalty, and they are Drazzy running P3 and Lorne running P7.
Lucky Ludlow going at it side by side. Ludlow gets pushed out wide. Going to try and hang it round the outside. Going to have the inside for the next corner. Who's going to lift first? The Alpha's got the line. It's contact!
Oh, contact!
Oh, and he's been put into the barrier. Major damage for the Alpha.
Oh, they tried to go side by side into the S's. No one backed out. It was the Alpha on the inside who's come off worse. He's in the barriers. Ludlow down to P13. Have to come into the pits to change that front wing. Put on some fresh mediums to go to the end. Not what he needed.
All the time we need to leave the space.
A couple other cars in the pits then. Tommy Reels pitted for mediums. Yanni Yans also going for the medium tyres. They're going to the end of the race. front half has just made his move on Weston's. He's up to P4 then. Good recovery drive so far from the Alpha after dropping back through the order early on.
Up 10.6 seconds. Expect Rooney to box any time now. Maybe a bit longer.
Rooney,
two more
Rooney
laps.
will go for softs. So he'll probably try and extend a wee bit further, but yeah, should be in the not too distant future. As there's a Williams coming into the pits, that's Shane coming off his soft tyres.
That Lawn is edging up on the back of Weston's, now in DRS territory and on a fresher tyre, 4 laps junior. Expect him to start to suffer now, Weston's. Around 12 laps old. Until everyone's made their pit stop, and we've got a lack of action out on track. This is probably the closest we've got between Weston's and Lawn. Looks like Lawn's going to be in striking distance on this lap. Of course, Lawn has kept it clean so far. Just him and Drazzy remain penalty free on lap 25 or 36 here in Mexico.
Not a lot of ERS left for Lawn as well, neither for Weston's. Weston's has actually hit 0. It is a tough one to manage that battery because you want to use overtake so much on these long straights. It can be really hard to regenerate that battery. And that is something I miss from the old games, because it's so hard to regen your battery now with the fully automatic.
Yeah, there's a lot of corners where you do want to put it into 0 because it will just help you through them slow speed corners in terms of traction, etc. You don't want all of that oomph in one go. But as the drivers commented on, of course, during the first lockdown, we had a lot of the F1 drivers hop onto the F1 platform, and they were saying that this is ridiculous. We don't change ERS settings that much over the course of a lap, and yeah, basically the overtake button is available to them to give them an extra boost. It does take them a long time to recover, so we've got something a bit more in tune with an actual driver's world. And of course, next year, Matt, the fuel modes will most likely be gone. It'll be about using the revs.
Yeah, another aid to overtaking will be gone. We'll see drivers struggle to get moves done on the straights, means they'll have to brake later, push harder into the corners, which we do like to see. Rooney's made his pit stop then from P2. He's put soft tyres on. That should take him to the checkered flag. We saw Shane in the Williams pit early, going for an undercut on Kvytstab, and Weston's got ahead of Kvytstab, has he? No, he has not. He's way behind. He remains P11. Kvytstab on the edge of the points for the time being.
The drivers we're waiting to see in pit lane are Stubbsy, Drazzy and front half, who will all need to make one more pit stop with 10 laps to go.
Speak of the devil, Stubbsy pits.
Really with another penalty. This is going to leave him in danger of Drazzy at this point.
Yeah, he's been a naughty boy. Getting up on those limits might come back to bite him at the end.
Have all boxed. Stubbsy laughing, still in the lead. 7-second advantage. He's cruising along right now.
Absolutely, he picks up another 3 seconds, but he is absolutely storming to victory here by the looks of it.
Tommy finally gets ahead of his teammate. He went for the undercut on their mediums, but not for long, because here comes Drazzy. It's the battle of the prancing horses. Will we see contact like in Brazil? No, pretty clean move there.
Drazzy safely through into P4, and we expect that to become P3 when Lorne makes his final stop for soft tyres. Unless he is going to try and make those mediums go the distance. There's a few laps off, I think. I'm not sure they'll make it. He will have to make another trip to pit lane. Not this time though, he's going to keep going, keep pushing on. You think if he is going to pit though, you'd think he'd do it now to get the full advantage of a fresh set of soft compound tyres, but he's going to keep going on his mediums.
Maybe he's just trying to hang it out there in case we do get a very late safety car. Not too many cars close to each other on track, saying that Givets is about to overtake Yanni Jans with the aid of DRS down the main pit straight. Flies on by on his fresh softs up into P9 for Givets. For another couple of points for the Racing Point team. And Rooney's. Yep.
Rooney's just passed his teammate up into P2. I don't know whether that was scripted or whether that was a genuine overtake from Rooney.
Yeah, I think James was on the radio.
On, it's James. I'll pay you back another time. I need to do this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lorne out of the Drivers' Championship fight. And Mercedes with a monumental lead. And here comes Westerns on James. They're going to go wheel to wheel. Which balls are going to come out on top? The Alpha Tauri gets through and up into P6.
It was Honda Power versus Honda Power, and it was Westerns who came out on top, and Thronhalf on his fresh soft, now looking like he wants to get that move done as well. He hopes to get it done as soon as possible so he can take the fight to Westerns going towards the end of this one.
Cheney slips on by past Yanni Jans up into the last point scoring position.
Looks like he's going to be a bit too far behind to make a move going into turn 4. He'll have to wait another lap to get his chance at taking P7 away from James. Oh, Thronhalf's got it done in the middle sector. Just coming to the stadium section though, he's used that DRS zone to get the move done. He puts himself up into P7. Well, I do feel he's going to come under threat right away, because James will now get DRS twice. Thronhalf isn't even going to get it once on these next 2 long straights. Although saying that, Thronhalf has absolutely nailed the run off those corners, and he does look safely through into P7.
Yeah, and importantly, it looks like he's just going to creep back into that DRS of Westerns. Gap now just under 1 second. And expect to see Drazzy really starting to march up to the back of Lorne.
Lorne is definitely trying to go to the end of this one then. We'll see if he can just eat those medium tyres out, or if he'll perhaps have to pit in those final laps to avoid a puncture. Could be an easy move for Drazzy once he gets there, you'd think.
Yeah, it should be a slam dunk. Lorne's going to be trying to conserve them, nurse them to the end. Now under 2 seconds and coming down a few attempts every sector almost.
It's looking like he wants to make a move on James. He's on soft tyres compared to James's worn mediums. Overtaking gauge, DRS enabled. He's gaining all the time as they run down towards turn 1. Goes to the inside and puts himself up into 8th place. We've got yellow flags in sector 3. That's Shane who's decided to call it quits with 5 laps to go. He's had enough. He is out of the race.
Front half done very well. Now half a second off the back of Weston's. He's shown he's got the pace. It's Alpha versus Alpha. Who will be the Alpha? The Alpha male at the end of this one. We're going to find out in the next few laps. And Drazzy, look at this. Almost half a second behind Lawn now. This should happen very soon. Here you go, round the final corner. Looks like it's going to be a nice easy DRS move for the Ferrari driver. Lawn now 16 laps. Surely he's going to be in danger of a puncher towards the final few laps of this Grand Prix. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, he's done well to get them this far. They're probably going to be screaming out now, trying to make them last to the end. Who knows whether they'll make it. Lawn will be doing everything he can to keep those tyres alive to the checkered flag.
He's picked up a penalty. He's been keeping it clean. There's only one man now, and that is Drazzy, without the pens.
Meanwhile, Thron Half made the move on Weston's. He's up in the P6.
He's looking really confident right now. Smashing in the lap times. Stubbsy extending his advantage, really stretching his legs now. 14 seconds at the front of the order.
Has he got fastest lap as well for that extra point? Who has that at the moment?
Yes, he has. By some margin as well.
Good day in the office so far for Stubbsy then. He's got 3 laps now just to bring that car home to the checkered flag.
One half had a little wobble. This is going to allow Westons to have a go at him down the main straight.
Weston's then uses his DRS to gain on the Alfa Romeo all the time. Is he going to be close enough by the time they get down to the first corner? No, he is not. It's the brakes, tucks in behind, but he's gained a lot in the braking zone there.
And yeah, it's going to be a three-way battle because it's going to be Tommy front half and Weston's in the battle for P5, and the Lawn is not too far away. These tyres are very old, so I expect that to really start coming down in huge chunks.
Well, we have a check of the penalty situation. Lawn on 3 seconds, Tommy Real on 9. Not been a good day in the office. Tommy Real in terms of penalties. Thron Half's only got 3 seconds. Then Weston's down to Yanni Ansel have 6. Aki has 9. Then Ludlow and Racing Carl also with 6 seconds. ABR Drazzy, the only man keeping it clean so far.
Drazzy, maintain this gap. P2 will be yours. And keep it clean as well, of course. Here comes front half. This is for P5. Goes round the outside. The Ferrari's going to try hang in there. Oh, is there contact?
Oh, contact. The Ferrari's gone round. He tried to hang on the inside there. Squeezed by the Alfa Romeo. Tommy Reel's down to P8 now. Has he got front wing damage? No, he looks okay, but he's lost a lot of track position.
Cooked up his tyres as well. Sometimes you just need to know when to pull out.
That leaves us with a 2-way battle for P5 then. Thron Half versus Westons. Weston's is only just about hanging on to that DRS. I think front half has got the pace at the moment. It's definitely going to be far enough ahead to not have to defend too hard into turn 1. Should have that move covered off. It'll be nice and easy. Ludlow picks up 3 seconds. He's down in P12 at the moment, so out of the points.
James closing in on the back of Tommy. Tommy's suffering for pace at the minute. Maybe a knock of his confidence. Probably used up quite a lot of his battery. Looks like he's derating already. The Red Bull having a little sniff. Gonna try and look for the switchback here. One half with another penalty. Stacking up.
They're on half and Weston's then both on 6 seconds, so it will be decided on track for who takes P5. Who are you saying for driver of the day then? We're in that late stage of the race. Who's looking like your pick?
Ooh, interesting. If it stays like this, it's got to be Drazzy. Made up 5 positions, kept it penalty free. Had some good little battles throughout the race. You have to reward good behaviour, I'd say. What about you?
I'd have to give it to Stubbs. He's put up a phenomenal drive to come out 16 seconds clear of his championship rival. On that similar strategy, he's coming through the stadium section now for the final time. Rounds the final corner. He sees the checkered flag. He wins the Mexican Grand Prix. It's Stubbsy on top in Mexico. Rooney comes round now 16 seconds down the road, looking set to take P2 ahead of Drazzy, or is he? Because penalties, what penalties does he have? 9 seconds. Rooney might be about to lose the place to Drazzy.
Drazzy's kept it clean all day, and that is going to reward him with P2 here at the Mexico Grand Prix. Big up yourself, Drazzy. And that's going to have huge repercussions when it comes to the title fight. As we come around the final corner, Lorne's going to hang on to P4. A valiant effort there on that strategy. And front half is just going to have to settle for P5. Weston's going to come home P6. Givad's P7. And we've got Tommy followed by James. James jumps him on penalties. And Yanni Jans is going to round out the points. Stubbsy with the win, fastest lap, and Drazzy's managed to squeeze himself in between the 2 title protagonists, so that's going to be huge in terms of the title fight map. 20 points now the gap with Stubbsy with his fastest lap point as well. That's going to be huge with just 2 races to go. So your final standings for the day, it is Stubbsy who takes victory ahead of Drazzy in P2, held on with those no penalties. Rooney goes P3, Lorne takes P4, Thron half P5, then it's Weston's, Vidzab, James, Tommy Real, Yan Yan's P10 to round out the points, then it's Aki, Ludlow, Racing Carl, then Shane, K-Mag and Celtic Speed. The last 3 failed to make the finish, and I think Racing Carl was ghosted for most of that, to be fair.
So I don't know if we can even class him as a finisher. You there, Stubbsy? Have you included your audio?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good, good. Talk us through that fantastic win for you. How was that?
Yeah, I had a strong showing in quali, and then the race, it was a big risk starting on mediums, but I knew there was a good chance of an early safety car and being able to stay in the DRS, which was crucial, and that saved me a lot of time. Then when I was able to switch to the softs, it was an easy job to get past Rooney and extend the gap.
Two races to go then in the championship. Your lead up now to 20 points. Are you confident you can get it done?
Maybe, yeah, I can definitely get it done next week. Brazil isn't one of my best tracks, but Abu Dhabi is a stronger track for me. So if I don't wrap up in Brazil, then there's a chance that I can get it done in Abu Dhabi.
Good stuff. Rooney, have you got your audio included? Are we all good?
I do.
As a tough day for you today to bring home P3 in the end. Talk us through that. How did it go?
A bit of a shit show, to be honest. First stint was crap, because I didn't put away that I should have. Middle stint was also a bit crap. Just a crap race for me in general. But there you go.
I can't win all of them. Are you still feeling confident with the 2 rounds to go? Can you still mount that championship challenge and get Stubbsy in the final 2?
I believe I can, yes. I have full confidence I can.
Yeah, love to hear it. Anything you want to add, Richie?
No, you put on a great show today, boys. Massive well done, Stubbsy. You really got it right in terms of the strategy. Rooney, keep fighting, man. I'm sure you're going to push him all the way to the flag and try and take advantage next time out. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in today for another Republic of Motorsport broadcast. Join us again, same time, same place. Are we racing next week, or what's the schedule, boys?
We will have a break week next week, and we'll resume the last race on the 3rd and the 10th.
Okay, so tune
January.
in on the 3rd. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year, and we'll see you all soon.